Hi, do you know that I am a fortune teller? Because I exactly know who you are. You are a male between 30 and 50 years old, and as a child you always wanted to have a walkie-talkie. Yup, the walkie-talkie, just like the Retevis RB27B I have over here, which allows you to talk over the distance with your friends, family, colleagues and anyone you really would like to talk to without using your cell phone. The Retevis RB27B comes in the pretty standard package. Black and orange ABS plastic that maybe does not feel the best in your hands, but it's kinda sturdy. You feel in your hands that, well, this thing most probably survived the first fall into the ground and maybe even the second and maybe even a third. The integrated antenna, because if you want your PMR466 radio to be legal in the Europe, it has to be an integrated antenna. Standard knob on the top which acts as a turn on button and also the volume. Some buttons, small LCD that displays you the current frequency and the channel, and this is basically all. There is nothing really too much to the radio, because if you press this button over here, then this is push to talk, and when you start talking somebody will hear you on the other side. And well, using the buttons you can change channels, and that's all. So this is the general characteristic. And now let's go to the important part of what is the good side and the bad side of this radio. Let's begin with the good ones. It's simple on the outside, so you see there is nothing really much to it. Relatively small, relatively light, and when you set it up it will just work like it's supposed to be working. There is a clip that you can use it to attach this radio to your belt. There is also a small lanyard yard that allows you to carry this in the other way. And well, nice feature this thing has over here, the battery allows you to charge it with the USB-C standard plug, which I personally think is a great idea, because you do not really want to carry every charger for every device you want to have. If you can have this standardized, that's great. In the box there is also a stunt stand with the charging that you do not have to plug, you just put the radio into the stand and it's charging automatically. It also has the squelch code, so you can kind of protect. Yes, it's not really protection, but you can have standard analog and digital continuous code, squelch, something, DCS and the CT option, and well, that's all. However, we also have to talk about some of the features I'm not really convinced. The feature I'm not really convinced is this button over here. When you press it, the FM radio turns in, and it's actually pretty simple when you are using this thing to accidentally press the button that enables the FM radio. And well, really, do you really want to use FM radio on the everyday basis? It should be somehow protected in the less obvious space to make the radio better. And the second thing is the menu. The menu is like absolute abysmal thing, because I have no idea how people still in the 2021 people can be using this menu. It's super complex to figure out what's happening, when happening, and why it's happening. Like for example, I cannot enter the menu on this unit right now. It has to be probably unlocked. And when you enter the menu, there are so many options without so little descriptions that is super hard to understand what's happening. And when you want to change any of the options, you kind of have to go there, enter there, leave. It's really a nightmare. After all these years, there has to be a better way to do it. But this honestly looks exactly like the menu you can have on the Baofeng radios, which are almost the standard of the, of the amateur radio industry. But does it work? Yes, it does. A few weeks ago I took it for a spin with my family. My both daughters got one of those. I got the bigger Baofeng, and we were really almost delighted. Especially the younger daughter was super delighted, because she wants to be a technical like her daddy, and being able to communicate with us. A super nice thing. We kinda tested the range of the thing on the beach. and I think the maximum separation between me and my older daughter was more than 1 kilometer, and we were still able to hear each other almost perfectly without absolutely any problems. Final verdict on the Retevis RB27B. I think it's the good intermediate radio. Why this is intermediate radio? Because it has features that the cheapest radios does not have, like for example squelch codes, which you set transmitter and RX code, and only other walkie-talkies that are set to exactly the same code will wake you up and make you hear things that probably you do not want to hear. On the other side, it does not have all those super fancy features like the bigger and much more expensive radios might have. I personally think that the best products are the products that are somewhere in the middle of the scale. Not the cheapest crap, because the cheapest crap is always the cheapest crap, and also not the more advanced, not the more most expensive stuff, because most probably you will never really use all the features. I personally think that Retevis is a good option that fits into this middle ground category. It's simple, it's not overly complicated, has some interesting features like for example USB-C charging port on the battery, and my kids love it. So why not to give it a try? That's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next one. Bye bye.